Marcos. Okay, Marcos. Aleph, Aleph.
No, no,
How?
hold on, not Marcos. We're doing Yevamos first.
Yevamos first. Okay. Okay. We have Aleph Dalet. I like your picture. You had that young woman with that young boy. Right in. Okay. Beis Shammai permit the co-wives to the brothers, but Beis Hillel forbid them. If they perform Kalisa, Beis Shammai disqualifies them from marrying into the priesthood, but Beis Hillel qualifies them. Um, if they were taken in Yibum, Beis Shammai qualified them, but Beis Shammai disqualifies them. Even though these prohibited and these permitted, these disqualified and these qualified. Beis Shammai did not refrain from marrying women of Beis Hillel, nor the Beis Hillel of Beis Shammai. Despite all the things that these judge Tahor and all the things that his Talmud did not refrain from using each other's utensils for purposes of Tahara. How does the wife of a non-contemptuous brother release her co-wives? There were two brothers, one of whom died, and then another brother was born. Subsequently, the second one performed yibum with his brother's widow and died. The first is charged as the wife of his non-contemporaneous brother, and the second as her co-wife. If he performed mama with her and then died, the second requires chalitza, but may not be taken in yibum. Okay, good.
Base as well.
I'm sorry.
Did you do base
Base.
already?
I didn't know. I didn't base. I did base. I did base olive.
Yeah, so do base as well.
Okay. Yeah, there were two brothers, and one of them died, and the second one then performed Yibum with his brother's widow. Subsequently, another brother was born, and then he died. The first is the charge as the wife of his non-contemporaneous brother, and the second as a co-wife. If he performed Mama with her and then died, the second requires Chalitza, but may not be taken in Yibum. Reb Shimon says, Reb Shimon says he may perform Yibum with whichever of them he wishes, or perform Chalitza with ever which of them he wishes. Okay.
Okay. Kalal Amru Yevamos. So general rule of Yevamos. Kol shehi isur erva lo choletzes v'lo misyabemes. So if there is an erva prohibition, right? The erva meaning that if he had to marry this woman, their child would be a mamzer. Okay, that's an erva prohibition. So then the co-wife puts off without even not even requiring chalitza. Okay. Um, isur mitzvah. However, if it is a mitzvah prohibition that makes her asur to him, or an isur kedusha. Okay, and we're going to go into detail. What does it mean? What is it? What is an isur mitzvah and what is an isur kedusha? Um, but in those cases, choletzes v'lo misyabemes. So another way of saying it is that it rides on whether or not the kiddushin takes effect. So, for example, if a brother goes to a sister and says "Harayat mekudeshesli" and gives her a ring, nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. There's no divorce required, nothing because it's simply kiddushin is not chal on an erev prohibition. But when it comes to an Isser Kedushin, Isser Mitzvah, which we're going to see in a minute, which I'll just sneak preview, it's like a Kohen marrying a divorcee or a Yisrael marrying a Mamzeres. Those things, the Kedushin takes effect. It's not allowed, but the Kedushin takes effect and he's obligated to divorce them. Okay, so in all those cases, the since the Kedushin would take effect, the mitzvah there to do chalitza. Uh,
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to see that in a minute. So kedusha achosa shehi yivimta choletzes or misyavemes, and then we have this. The last sentence over here is a phrase which is it's one of these cases that is actually a very rare corner case where her sister, who is also her sister-in-law, in other words, two brothers married to two sisters, it says here choletzes or mesyavemes. And actually, most of the time when you have two sisters married to two brothers, there's no chalitza and no yibum. And we're going to have to leave it to a later Mishnah to explain to us what it means when it says that achos shehi yavimta choletzes or mesyavemes. Um, this is this we will see that what the case is where they can do chalitza or yibum. Okay. So we have to hold that little statement in abeyance until we've understood that halacha, which we'll get to
Okay.
later in our Masechta. Isur mitzvah. Okay, so now that we said that an Issa mitzvah, if the brother has an Issa mitzvah on one of the widows, um, then they need chalitza or not yibum. Okay, and what are those cases? Shnios midivrei sofrim. It's where there's these secondary isurim of that were decreed by Chazal, the shnios. So what are shnios? Um, these are a grandmother, Aim Imo, or Aim Aviv, or his son's daughter-in-law, or his daughter's daughter-in-law. Um, this is something that Chazal said that it's mutar min Torah. Um,
Right.
what is it? Aimim, or yeah. These are relationships that are mutar min Torah, but Chazal said this must also be asur. I it's kind of wild to me that anyone would think to get married to their grandchild. Um,
Yeah.
but okay. Nonetheless, Chazal said it, and that's called a shnia. And actually, the Chazal were very strict about the shnios. They were stricter about the shnios than they were about the arayos, even in some ways, as we'll see in Kesubos. Um, but at any rate, that's called the Isser Mitzvah. What's an Isser Kedusha, says the Mishnah? Almana lekohen gadol. A kohen gadol marrying a widow. Grusha chalutza lekohen hediot. A regular kohen marrying a divorcee or a chalutza. Mamzeres and Nasina Israel. Or Bas Yisrael the Nasin and Mamzer. Okay, so all of these things where it's aser to marry them, but nonetheless the chidushin takes effect. So in
Mhm.
all these cases, you would have to the mitzvah if one such woman fell to a man for yibum, then he would have to do chalitza to them because he's not allowed to marry them. Okay. מי
Mhm.
שיש לו אח מכל מקום, זוקק es eshes achiv leyibum. Okay. If anyone has a brother from any place, and when we say from any place, we mean even a brother who's a mamzer from the same father.
Mhm.
Okay, so any kind of brother requires his wife to wait for either yibum or chalitza before she can marry anyone else. The achiv l'chol davar, and furthermore, he is his brother for for any matter. Chutz mimi sheyesh lo min hashivcha or min hanofres, unless we're talking about a brother who was born to a non-Jewish slave or to a non-Jewish woman, because that, while biologically his brother, is halachically not his brother. Because if the mother's not Jewish, then he's not Jewish, and it's not his brother. Okay. מי שיש לו בן מכל מקום, and anyone who has a son from any place, פוטר אשת אביו מן הייבום. The son, the son exempts all of his father's wives from yibum once the father has had children, and it doesn't matter again if the child is a mamzer. Even if the child is a mamzer, then the father is not considered to be childless, and all of his wives are free from yibum. Okay. V'chayav al makaso v'al kilalaso, and furthermore, the child is chayav for striking his parent or for cursing his parent. Ubeno lechol davar, and he is considered his son in every respect. Chutz mimi sheyesh lo min hashivcha or min hanochris. And once again, if the father had the child from a non-Jewish woman, or even from a non-Jewish slave, the child is not considered his, even though biologically, again, it's his child, but halachically is not considered his child, and therefore if he had to die at this point with only having this one child, his wives would require yibum. Okay, you looking
Very conf-
about that? Are you okay?
very confusing. Very
But
confusing.
why is that confusing? Because this one's actually quite a simple one.
No, I mean, all of this put together, when you put it all together, it's all the whole thing is wild to me. I
But
just
the rules are actually quite simple. Is that if he has
Mhm.
children, his wives don't need yibum. If he doesn't have children, his wives do need yibum. And that's
it's my contemporary thinking. Like women just, this one's gonna
Because,
marry.
well, that's only because culturally we haven't done Yibum for centuries.
Right. That's, at
But
least that we know. At
Chalitza,
least
but
that we,
Chalitza is still a thing,
at least that we know about. At least that we
Hmm?
know about. At least
Yeah,
that we know about.
yeah.
People for centuries, right? Forever, There's so many
Mm,
things going on in the world that it's
mm.
okay. Marcos.
No, no, Marcos is the last thing we're getting to. Put
Oh,
Marcos right at the back.
put it on the top. Okay. All right. Where Mo cut. Let me see.
Okay, first we're doing Chagiga.
Giga, right. Giga, we have Alav.
Yeah.
One who did not offer the Kagiga on the first day of Yom Tov festival may offer the Kagiga throughout the festival or on the last Yom Tov of the festival. If the festival passed and he did not offer the Kagiga, it is no longer his responsibility. Concerning this, it is said, a twisted thing cannot be made straight, and what is not there cannot be remembered, will not be numbered. Reb Shimon ben Nanasa says, what is referred to as a twisted thing cannot be made straight. One who was in an illicit relationship and a begets a mamza, were you to say that the reference is to one who steals or robs, this could not be the meaning since it can make restitution and thus make it straight. Reb Shimon ben Yochai says, we do not call one twisted unless he is initially straight and then became twisted. And who is this? A scholar who forsakes the Torah. The regulations governing release from vows hover in the air and have no firm scriptural support. Certain laws of the Sabbath, Kagiga and Me'ilah, are like mountains suspended by a hair, but there is full scriptural references in many laws. The regulations governing property law, the property, sacrificial services, purity and contamination, and their illicit relationships have firm scriptural support, and all these are essential for the Torah. Okay,
Okay.
we are on.
Tanis.
Okay, the Aleph Vav. Aleph Zion. If these fasts pass and they were not answered with rain, they must decrease commerce, construction, planting, betrothal, marriages, and greeting one another, as befits people censured by the omnipresent. The distinguished individual resume their fasting until Nisan is over, and if Nisan ended, rain fell, it's a symptom of curse, as it said, is today not the wheat harvest. What is the order of service for the fast days? They would bring out the ark to the town square and place ashes upon the ark, and the head of the Nasi and the head of the chief of the court and everyone else places ashes upon his own head. The eldest among them would preach words of inspiration before them. Our brethren is not stated regarding the people of Nivne, and God saw their sackcloth and their fasting, but rather, and God said their deeds, and they repented their evil ways. And the admonition, he states, now rend your hearts and not your clothing. They then began to pray. They sent before the ark a well-versed elder who has children whose house is empty, so that his heart may be fully devoted in prayer. He recites before them 24 blessings, the 18 which are recited every day, and 6 more which are added. Okay.
Okay. Psachim.
Then, so let's check this off. So, and we have chet. And Onan immerses himself and eats his basic offerings in the evening, but may not eat other offerings. The one who hears about the death of his relative or one who has arranged for the bones of a close relative to be gathered on his behalf immerses himself and eats of offerings. If a proselyte has been converted on the eve of Pesach, but Shammai says he immerses himself and eats of his Pesach offering in the evening. Basil says one who separates himself from an uncircumcised state is like one who separates himself from the grave. And one who was contaminated or one who was a distant journey had not observed the first Pesach must observe the second. If he erred or was prevented and therefore did not observe the first Pesach, he must observe the second. If so, why is it said one who was contaminated or one who was a distant journey because these are exempt from Karet, but those are liable to Karet. What is a distant journey from Modi'in and beyond, and like a distance in any direction? These are the words of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Eliezer says, from the threshold of the temple court and beyond. Says Rabbi Yossi, therefore there is a dot over the letter Chet, and as if to say, not because they're literally distant, but rather from the threshold of the temple courtyard and beyond. Okay. Okay. Over here, and we are on to Kalayim. We're starting again over here. Kalayim. Okay, we have okay, here we go. If silk and bast silk do not come under the prohibition of kalayim, but are forbidden on account of appearances. Mattresses and pillows do not come under the prohibition of kalayim, because one's flesh does not touch them. There is no exemption for casual wear of kalayim, and kalayim may not be worn even on top of 10, not even to evade custom dues. Hand towels, scroll wrappers, bath towels do not come under the prohibition of kalayim. Rav Eliezer forbids, but barbers' towels are forbidden on account of kalayim. Shrouds for the dead in the pack saddle of a donkey do not come under the prohibition of kalayim. One may not put a pack saddle on its shoulder, even to take the dung on it. Okay. We're moving to Caleb. Caleb, okay. Caleb, you test Vav. If a bed was round, right?
Yes.
Oh, if a bed was round with a mizram and a corpse touches them, they are tummy with 7-day tumah. If they separate from each other, they are tummy with 7-day tumah. If a sheret touches them, they are tummy with evening tumah. If they separate from each other, they are tummy with evening tumah. Regarding a bed whose 2 long boards were removed, and one fashioned new boards for it, it did not alter the notches. If the new boards broke, the bed remains tummy, but if the old boards broke, the bed is tahor, for everything depends on the old boards. A chest whose opening is on top can become tummy with corpse tumah. If it became damaged at its top, it can become tummy with corpse tumah. If it became damaged at its bottom, it is tahor, and its compartments are tummy and are not considered connected to it. Regarding a shepherd's pouch that became damaged, the pocket within its tummy and is not considered connected to it. Regarding a water skin whose sound pouches hold liquid together with and whose pouches became damaged, they are tahor because they do not accept liquids in their normal fashion. Okay.
And now we can do Marcos.
What
No, so
happened?
actually, first Sanhedrin. Let's first finish Sanhedrin, and then we'll start Marcos.
Don't confuse me. Okay.
In fact, we're not even starting Marcos today. It's tomorrow.
All right. Hey, a false prophet is one whose prophecies concerning that which.
Hold on, no, we're in Zakin Mamre. That's base, Mishna base.
Okay.
No, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. My bad. My bad. I've got my book back in the wrong place. You're right. It's a false prophet.
False prophet is one of prophecies concerning that which he did not hear. Something's wrong. One of prophet, something's wrong. Yeah. Or one that which not said to him. He is executed at the hands of man. But one who suppresses his prophecy and one who disregards the words of a prophet, and a prophet who transgresses his own words, are executed at the hands of heaven, as it is stated, I shall demand it from him. One who prophesies at the name of a strange God and says, thus said the strange God, is liable, even though he conformed with the law to render tummy, that which is tummy to the render tummy tahor, which is tahor. One who commits adultery once she has entered the domain of the husband for marriage, even if she has not yet had conjugal relations, one who habits with her is strangled. The Zomim witnesses of the daughter of the Kohen and one who cohabitated with her. For all Zomim witnesses have answered that death, except for the Zomim witnesses of the daughter of a Kohen and the man cohabitated with her.
Sanhedrin. Okay, we can do one Mishnah from Marcos then. And since we finished Sanhedrin with Eidim Zomimim, and we start Marcos with Eidim Zomimim.
All witnesses punished with Azama. We testify regarding so and so that he is the son of a divorcee or the son of a kalutza. We do not say that this one should be made like the son of a divorcee or the son of a kalutza, and instead that this one under he is flogged 40 lashes. We testify against so and so that he is exiled, liable to exile. We do not say that this one should be exiled, and instead rather he is flogged 40 lashes. We testify against so and so that he divorced his wife and did not give her the ketubah. Now, either today or tomorrow, we may give her the ketubah. We therefore assess how much a person would want to give for this woman's ketubah on the chance that she becomes widowed or divorced, and that if she dies, her husband will inherit her. We testify against so and so that he owes another and 1,000 zuz to be paid now in 30 days, and he says between now and 10 years. We assessed how much a person would give so that 1,000 zuz should be in his possession, and instead of having to repay them for 30 days, you have the 10 years to repay them. Okay. So from now on, we start at 7:30.